This house was born out of trying to do something different and potentially a little bit bold for the area and show that you can still build interesting in a floodplain zone.
Hi, I'm Rory from VIP Structural Steel. Today we're down here looking at a project in South Brighton, designer 360 architecture for our client TNA Construction. Let's go take a look.
It was primarily sort of set up based on looking at how a structure might work and looking at touching the ground really lightly. The house was set up on a structural grid so that we could reduce heavy elements out on the edges. So we've got cantilevered upper level, which is using a large truss, which brings the load back into a central point onto 4 columns, which take it down to the ground, which allows lower levels where we've got these sort of more curved columns, which aren't so strong structurally, to reduce your load bearing on them. And it's all evenly balanced, so it's got a 6-metre cantilever both ways, sitting on the large UC columns, then into concrete columns.
We're standing next to what's holding up some of the cantilevering sections. These are spaced out to this side, one that side, with multiple straight ones at the back. So right now we're standing next to one of the first floor portals that goes down and sits on our in situ concrete columns on the ground floor. We have an X-frame bracing element. You can see a section of our 3rd floor trusses that span the length of the building, 18 meters.
We have carefully set out the spans in between the structural elements so that they all work with the biggest span we can get out of timber, but the structural steel allowed us to keep things still smaller, get those bigger cantilevers. So there's a large steel truss hidden in the upper level, but that's made out of quite lightweight steel elements because it all works together as a piece. So it was an integrated sort of exercise to make sure that the timber sizes we were using were working with the steel sizes. We've got some other elements, like there's a main stair and the spiral stair behind me, which are sort of structural features in themselves. They're sort of all done in steel plate, but simply finished so that we're not overcomplicating it with like lots of glass balustrading or fixing, so it's all welded detailing, which has all been done beautifully by the VIP guys.
The spiral staircase, the outer plates were all formed in 3 sections, and the guys in the workshop have all welded and polished it so it looks like a seamless one-piece section. All the handrails have been fully welded, no bolted detail, and we feel like it gives it a really good commercial yet architectural look. Behind me is the floating staircase. This was all fabricated completely off-site, was then landed on this bottom floor, skated into position, lifted through the hole, back down onto the landing pads. The floating look is achieved by these countersunk concrete screws that are pinned the entire way around the stair into the 1st level slab.
The steel modelling which VIP do were amazing, and they interpreted my 2D drawings really well. We're sort of starting to get to that exciting stage where stuff is starting to take shape and all the finishing pieces coming on. Yeah, it's going to reveal a few new surprises as it gets finished. There's a few new tricks which are going to happen in the next month or so, which will change some of the look of it. But I think, yeah, we'll get a pretty cool result at the end.
So the structural steel portion of this project is coming to an end. We'd like to thank Dean for letting us show you through his home. We'd like to thank 360 Architecture, TNA Construction. They've been great to work with, and we'll see you on the next one.